You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video. Hey guys, Neri here from Drake Wing Gaming. Some of you know me on Twitter, The Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Tennis Ace, Kaken's Path. So guys, let's go ahead and jump right back into it. I got a nice big mug of coffee here. I'm ready to bring you guys some entertainment, so let's jump right in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's friggin' go, girl. Okay. Oh god, June's face is so bad. Oh, June, don't cry, little tiger, please. Oh god, every time I see him like that, it just breaks my heart. Okay, anyway. It takes him a while to recognize me, but as soon as he does, he wipes his tears away with the cuff of his suit. What are you doing here? Hey! The employee I knocked aside when I barged my way into the backstage comes up to us, looking furious. You, kid, come back here! Shit. The guy with my armor starts pulling me away from June. No, wait, I need to stay here. I don't give a flying rat's ass. I'm kicking you out of... Wait! June calls out to the man holding me. He stops and looks back. I'm a competitor. Aren't I allowed by the rules to have someone with me for support? June gets up from the floor, staring down the employee, which is quite a feat considering the man is taller than even me. What? That's usually reserved for family. You have to declare them beforehand. I understand, but my parents can't attend today due to personal reasons. So I asked my friends to come with me. I'm sorry, could you please let him stay? This kid nearly threw me against the wall trying to bust his way in. You're asking me to let that slide? I'm deeply sorry. June bows, his face going so red I'm afraid he'll just keep going and we'll hit the floor. Wait, June, you don't have to apologize for my... I'm so sorry. He was just worried about me. He didn't know what he was doing. I'll take full responsibility for his actions. June. The Ram looks from me towards June, who is still bowing. His expression seems to have softened a bit, but he still looks very angry. I get on my knees and beg if you want me to. What? No, June, that's going too far. I should be the one apologizing. There's no need. The Ram lets go of my hand, his eyes fixed on June. Lift your head, kid. If it's that important to you, I'll let your friend stay. I won't report this, otherwise you could end up being penalized due to him. June straightens himself back up, smiling at the employee. Thank you, sir. He nods. Don't mention it. And you. He turns to look at me, and that sharp, angry look flashes again in his eyes. Behave. And thank your lucky stars no one else was here to see this, or you could have hurt your friend's chances. He turns around and walks away, turning at the corridor, disappearing from our sight. Ha! June lets out a sigh of relief as he leans back against the wall and slumps back down to the ground. June, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to... I know. What are you doing here, Yuichi-san? I came back to check up on you. I was worried. Thought so. He hugs his knees, resting his chin on them and looking straight ahead. Akutagawa-kun was something else. After I saw his performance, I just felt like it was impossible for me to beat him. So it's like I thought. He really did watch that performance, and it really did crush his spirit. I sit down next to June, as close as I can without actually touching him. He seems to hold his breath for a second, unsure of what I'm doing. Then, he relaxes. I'm sorry to have worried you. It's okay. It's what friends are for. What about now? How do you feel? His body starts shaking again. I shouldn't have come here. This was a mistake. I should have just stayed out of the competitions. I shift my body and kneel next to him, reaching out my hand to touch his face. June freezes, looking at me like a deer in the headlights. I wipe away the tears that are beginning with my right hand, caressing his cheek as I do so. That's not true, June. You've been practicing day and night for this. You're more than ready. No, I can't play. His voice sounded so distant and lonely. There has to be a way for me to console him. Oh, June, yep. Before I even have time to properly think about it, I wrap my arms around June, pulling him close to me and placing his head on my chest. Alright, let me drink my coffee real quick. Light roast, delicious. What are you... Yuichi-san! It's okay. I start stroking the back of his head, doing my best to sound warm and welcoming. Soon enough, the dam bursts. June clings tightly to my shirt and buries his head in my chest, sobbing. I hold him there for what feels like many minutes, waiting for him to calm down. Little by little, his sobs become quieter and less numerous. When it seems that his sobbing has finally died down, I speak up. Why do you think you can't play? June pulls away from me, looking down at the floor. Once again, I wipe the tears from his face and smile at him. My hands, they feel cold. I realize that his hands are still shaking. I grab hold of one of his hands and give it a squeeze. You mean this hand? He pulls his hand away from me, looking down at the floor and nodding. If they feel so cold, I can barely even move them. I don't know what to do. I can't play like this. His voice is so small and sad. I'm afraid he might start crying again at any second. He's so nervous that his hands and maybe feet are feeling cold. Remember, I used to feel the same when I just started playing competitively. June, give me your hand. Even when stressed, he diligently does what I ask of him. I grab his wrists and put both of his hands together, palm against palm. Then, I wrap my hands around his. What? I gently pull his hands towards me and exhale on them. Yuichi-san, what are you doing? I look him in the eye, making sure to give him the gentlest, warmest smile I can. I'm warming your hands up so you can play. I know his hands aren't actually cold, but I'm just hoping I can somehow get him past whatever Black has him like this. I managed to defuse his last panic attack. I won't be giving up with this one. Hey, Junkun, don't you think this is alright? I speak in a soft voice. My use of the honorific seems to have caught his attention. I caress the back of his hands with my thumbs, trying to seem as encouraging as I can. You've been working your hardest so far. We need to show everyone your performance. A performance only you can make, isn't that true? A performance only I can make? I nod, slowly. I don't understand much about music myself, but shouldn't your music get your feelings across? Then why don't you, instead of worrying about getting a perfect performance, just try to show everyone how you feel? I loved watching that first performance of yours. I know I've seen you perform once or twice after that, but that one really struck a chord with me. I felt as if your song was calling out to me. It was warm and gentle and passionate. I'm sure you weren't trying to show people how good your skills were. You were just happy to play and wanted to pour your feelings into the piano. So, why can't you do that again? If I did that, I wouldn't be able to win. I shake my head in the negative. I don't believe that even for just a second. No one in this hall has managed to touch me the way your playing did, June. I believe in you. No matter what you do, I'm sure you'll be doing your best, so isn't that alright? Can't you just play how you want to play? I don't know how these competitions are judged, but wouldn't it be better if you put out the best performance you can instead of just worrying about getting everything completely perfect? June stares at me. His fur is matted from his tears and his eyes are red, but he looks calm. I hold his hands a little bit tighter, trying to encourage him any way I can. June nods. I'll try to put my feelings in my music, hopefully. He doesn't finish his sentence, but I already know he can do it. As long as he can stay calm, there's no reason he wouldn't be able to. Oh, that's me. June Kobayashi? The worker from before peeks his head through the hallway, calling out June's name. June pulls away from me and immediately gets up. Yes? The interval's about to end. You have 2 minutes. All right. June nods, suddenly full of energy. The ram smiles and walks away. All right, Yuichi-san. I'm going now. Please watch over my performance. Right. I have to hurry back to my seat, then. See you later. See you later. See ya. I turn to walk away. Oh, and one more thing. What is it? Thank you. Caught by surprise, I don't react for a few seconds. Coffee time. Okay. Then I nod and start running back to my seat. By the time I reach my seat, June is already halfway to the piano. Where the hell were you? Shuichi leans up to me, frowning. I went to see June. What? Why would you? Shh. Someone shushes us from behind. Shuichi glares at me and leans back into his own seat. June sits in front of the piano, putting one of his hands on his knees and the other on his chest. He seems to be holding something. A pendant? Even if I have good eyesight, I can barely make it out. After what seems to be a full minute, he finally adjusts himself on his seat and places his hands on his knees. On the keys, yeah. The song starts very slowly. June plays the initial keys with only one hand. The few whispers that could be heard in the audience seem to have died down the instant he started to play. Even though his movement seems to be tense and robotic, the melody comes out easily and is pleasing to hear. As he continues to play, June seems to relax. He starts swaying back and forth to the rhythm of the melody. His tail begins to move slowly in the air. He's definitely getting into it. Looking to the side, I see Keikon tapping his feet to the sound of the music. Saya looks for the first time like she's completely awake and not about to doze off. Shuichi's lips are curved in a proud smile, as if he were a dad watching his son's first ball game. Here it comes. Keikon murmurs. Let's see if we can turn that up a little bit. Yeah, let's get that piano going. There we go. Keikon murmurs just as the song seems to slow down to a halt. Then, the song immediately picks up the pace, completely switching gears and becoming insanely fast. No way! Keikon's reaction mirrors that of the entire audience. Surprise, perplexity, admiration. It's without a doubt that June is playing the song flawlessly, even a layman like me can tell. As he continues to hammer out the keys with practiced skill, June's entire body moves along to the melody, creating a vivid performance that fills the halls with a rich, confident sound. Ah, June, you wonderful sweet boy, you. I feel it echoing deep inside my chest. This is the same feeling as when I saw him playing for the first time. It takes every fiber of self-control I have to keep myself from getting up and walking towards the stage. I want to get even closer. It's so moving that I feel like I could cry. But the performance is already over for the day. All that is left is to wait for the results to be posted. Nah. Poor boy. Poor sweet boy. He's a sweet boy is what he is. Sorry about that. June has been pouting ever since he came out of the lobby, already changed into his regular clothes. I already told you to cheer up. Your performance was amazing. Stop sulking. Just telling him to cheer up isn't going to magically cheer him up, you know. The three of us have been trying to up June's spirits since he rejoined us. Unfortunately, results have been very mixed. Meanwhile, Saya is waiting by the notice board to see the results when they finally get posted. I just feel like I bombed it. You didn't bomb it. I'm telling you, your performance was amazing. There's no doubt in my mind that you'll snag second place. But I need first place. If I don't get it, there's no chance for me to go to Germany. I know that. I just can't tell you that you'll win because I'm not so sure. I think it'll be very close. I don't really understand much about music, but I thought Junkun's performance was better, didn't you? It depends. Kobayashi didn't go with the standard interpretation, and that might not fly well with the judges. Regardless, I know that in technical terms he was number one, but it basically comes down to whether or not the judges like his interpretation of the song. Even if Akutagawa's performance was higher in technical skill due to the duration of that piece, Kobayashi's was faster and more refined. It comes down to the judge's personal taste, then? That doesn't sound too good. It's not. That's why everyone tends to only play the standard interpretation. You won't charm any judges with your individuality, but you'll make sure no one will dislike you so much that they fail you. I didn't know that. I suddenly feel very awkward for suggesting that he do that. If June ends up failing because of this, I'll feel incredibly guilty for a long time. I'm sorry, June, I shouldn't have suggested you play that. Wait, you're the one who suggested he do that? Of all the reckless... June lifts a hand up in the air, cutting Keikon off mid-sentence. It's alright, Yuichi-san. That was good advice for me. If I had gotten fixated on playing the song perfectly instead of just playing how I wanted, I would have been crushed by my own anxiety. Playing it like that is the only reason I was able to play it at all. If they fail me for that, then so be it. What is this adorable creature? Before my impulses can take me over and force me to hug the shit out of June, Shinji Akutagawa approaches us. There you are. I've been looking for you for almost 10 minutes. The look on his face is both angry and scary. Even I suddenly feel like taking a step back. June, on the other hand, doesn't retreat. He stares back at the line with an intensity that I never thought he was capable of. It's a big lobby, after all. How are you doing, Akutagawa-kun? Honestly, of all the stupid things you could have done, why didn't you go with the standard interpretation? You basically threw in the towel the moment you did that. It's very subtle, but I can notice June's body shifting a little bit when he hears that. Maybe he's not as confident as he's trying to portray himself. June looks down at the floor for just a second. At least that's what I'd like to say. Akutagawa sighs, lifting both of his hands to the air and shrugging. I never thought you could do that well. I thought you'd be rusty after being out of the stages for 7 years. Instead, you came back sharper than before. Akutagawa's penetrating gaze softens considerably as he looks over the perplexed tiger. Congratulations, Kobayashi-kun. No matter what the judges say, you're the victor today, but I won't lose next time. Without even giving him time to answer, the lion turns and walks away, leaving June gaping in the spot. Well, that was something. That guy's weird for sure. June catches everyone by surprise when he suddenly lunges and starts laughing loudly. What the? Sorry. He takes a few seconds to calm himself, wiping away a small tear from his left eye. How can he laugh so carefree like that? Akutagawa-kun really hasn't changed at all. He was always pretty blunt about stuff like that. You're telling me he was always like that? June nods. Akutagawa-kun is very demanding of himself. He's always quick to praise people when he thinks they deserve it, and always admits his own shortcomings when he thinks they exist. Coffee time. Hey yo, it's coffee time, why don't you sip this coffee of mine? He always admits defeat if he thinks that he's been defeated. Even if the judges give him first place, he'll still consider himself the loser. That's the kind of pianist he is. Talk about a serious attitude. That's what you'd expect from someone aiming for the pros. He doesn't have the time to make excuses for himself. He just takes in everything that he can and moves on. Huh. I guess we could all stand to learn a few things from that guy, then. Guys! Saya comes running towards us, yelling so loudly that everyone in earshot turns to look at the source of the sudden noise. The results! Huh? How did it go? What were they? How did it go? What were they? Saya is hunching over, her hands on her knees, panting and gasping desperately for air. First place! Really? June immediately latches onto her, grabbing her arms with both of his hands and looking her in the eye. Saya swallows once and nods emphatically. You got first place! June stares at her wide-eyed. His hand starts to shake and he stumbles backwards, collapsing on a nearby bench. Big droplets start welling up in his eyes. He pulls out a pendant from his pocket and holds it tightly in his hands, touching it to his forehead. Thank God! He then starts sobbing uncontrollably. My mind is violently snapped back into wakefulness by the sudden blaring noise of the alarm. What the? We haven't set up the alarm! Shit, where is it set? Where is it? And how can I turn this damn thing off? Ah, there. 9:30? Why the hell am I waking up at 9:30 on a weekend? It's not as if I have anything to... Wait. Did I promise to go out with someone today? Ah! As my mind slowly dispels its foggy state, I seem to remember a little bit more. That's right, I had scheduled to go out today with... Keisuke. Ah, that's true. I agreed to go out with Keikun today. But, my head is so nice and my bed is so nice and warm. I don't want to get up. Maybe he'll let me skip this time? Yeah, right. Even I know that would be a scummy thing to do. Come to think of it, I don't even know where we're going. Yeah, Keikun didn't really give me much information when he asked me to hang out with him. Remember, I was already done with my club activities for the day and was about to head home. Senpai, wait. Oh, 1 second. Okay. I saw Keisuke running my way, still wearing his practice clothes and with his tennis bag hanging around his shoulders. You need me for something, Keikun? Also, please don't call me Senpai. Sorry. Coach insists I do when we're in practice, and I haven't switched back to normal mode yet. I actually wanted to talk to you, if that's okay. I could see beads of sweat running their way down his forehead and onto his eyebrows. Keikun had to wipe his face every few seconds due to just how much sweat there was. Sure, I don't mind, but wouldn't you rather shower first? I'm actually surprised. Don't you always shower after practice? Yes, I do, but since you left practice before me, I didn't have a chance to ask you to wait around for me. If I had showered before running to find you, you'd have gone home already. True, I don't usually wait around after practice, and I don't like getting naked in public. I prefer just walking into my house and showering there. Alright, I don't mind waiting around for you. You can go shower. Oh good, feeling all this sweat burning down my fur was starting to drive me crazy. And just like that, Keikun turned around and dashed back to the gym. Somehow it looked like he was running with a much bigger sense of urgency now that he was heading to the showers. I never stand between a man and his shower. Keikun insists that we come over to the expensive ice cream shop he likes so much. Alright guys, I'm gonna pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. If it's super thanks or a tip if you can, it always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!